Only when the woman he disliked entered the room did the man realize this might be a setup, but unexpectedly the woman sat down and apologized. She deeply regretted how she had treated Pearl before. She just wanted to mend their broken relationship and work together again. But Junyu had already seen through her scheme. He knew a partner like her would eventually betray him. Eunjing rushed out to stop Junyu. Everything that happened today was her doing. She did not want to see Junyu ruin himself over that woman from Vietnam. If he just swallowed his pride a little, he could rise to success. Eunjing could not understand why Junyu was so stubborn. She did not realize Junyu was no longer the dream-chasing man from years ago. He was now a devoted husband. Every time he saw Pearl, his heart grew calm. When he returned home, he held her tightly in his arms. He did not want his wife to know his troubles. It was enough just to hold her quietly. Pearl had been bullied by everyone since she was young. Now with Junyu by her side, she felt it was a gift from heaven. Even if she met those same cruel people again, she would not be afraid, because she knew Junyu would always protect her. The next day, Junyu's other project was also cancelled. Eunjing saw this and felt heartbroken. She begged Junyu not to be so stubborn anymore. If he agreed to work with the Lee Group, he could rise to the top. He might even live comfortably in America someday. It was obvious that Eunjing had fallen for Junyu, and she must have been a hidden rich woman herself. Otherwise Junyu would have been fired for offending the Lees. Eunjing knew Junyu did everything for Pearl. Even if that woman slowed him down, she could not understand what spell he was under. In the end, Eunjing confessed her feelings. At that moment, Junyu realized how much Pearl had suffered. Pearl had hinted before that Eunjing liked him, but back then Junyu was too focused on work to notice. His delay had hurt both women deeply. Junyu felt deep guilt, and even more compassion for his wife. Pearl comforted him, saying no matter how tough things got, it would be fine. Just focus on your work. Don't worry about home. Our home will never be your burden. At that point, Eunjing had not decided to go to America. She still had lingering feelings for Junyu, so she went alone to his house, wanting to see what made Pearl different, what made the man she loved so loyal. In Junyu's room, she found a treatment journal. It detailed every step of his recovery process. Pearl panicked and snatched it away, afraid people would judge Junyu. Eunjing was shocked that Pearl had married him after just seeing his photo. She could not believe this woman from Vietnam had managed to stay by his side for so long. At first, Pearl had been confused and even tried to run away. But every time she saw Junyu's face, she could not leave. Though he needed care, he pushed people away. He had spent 3 years carving alone in his room. Without guidance, he might have wasted his life. She believed that even another woman would not have let Junyu fall apart like that. Eunjing's heart began to stir. She wondered if she could have been that strong, but she knew who caused all this pain. Unexpectedly, Junyu was standing outside, hearing everything. He felt relieved nothing improper had happened, and grateful for everything Pearl had done. Eunjing realized it was time to end this story. Before leaving, she had one last thing to do. Junyu had endured too much and she could not let it go unpunished. The one responsible must face the consequences. The next day, Eunjing arranged to meet Jiying. She admitted she once admired Jiying 4 years ago, but now everything had changed. Her status and perfect education could no longer hide her true face. Eunjing advised Jiying to be honest with her husband. There is no such thing as a flawless secret. If two people truly love each other, they can forgive flaws. That was Eunjing's final warning to Jiying. If you care about me, then stay quiet. Since Jiying refused to listen, Eunjing decided to take action herself. Just then, Jiying's husband Yongming appeared. Eunjing pretended to be drunk and searched for her keys, spilling everything from her bag. A photo from their college days slipped from her notebook. If Yongming saw it, he would understand everything, but he was not interested at all. So Eunjing asked for a ride home, and deliberately left the notebook on his seat. If it still went unnoticed, then Jiying was just lucky. Soon Yongming discovered the notebook. Curious, he quietly opened it. The man casually opened a notebook, only to find photos of his wife being intimate with another man. Yongming instantly felt the sting of betrayal. His wife had always seemed so pure and gentle. It was that innocence that drew him to her years ago. That day, Jiying dressed herself carefully, planning to have a baby with Yongming soon. Her affectionate behavior made Yongming feel sick. He told her to take her hand off him. Only the shock of cold water could calm his heart. He thought about how Jiying once swore she had never lied to him, that she had never been in love before. Those promises now cut through his heart like sharp blades. Just then Eunjing called. She had gone to great lengths to get revenge for Junyu. As she expected, Yongming had opened the notebook, and figured out that Junyu and Jiying had dated in college. Eunjing did not say exactly what Yongming wanted to hear, but she hinted that Jiying truly loved him, which only made her sound guiltier. Her words raised even more suspicion. When Jiying came home, she was cheerful. She told him she had found her brother Min Su's hiding place. Once she sent him abroad, she could finally relax. But Yongming already knew her real reason for sending him away. He wanted to give Jiying one last chance. If she confessed, they could still live on together. But Jiying stubbornly denied everything. She refused to admit anything about Junyu, even scolding Yongming for being paranoid. Jiying guessed Junyu must have said something. Otherwise her husband would never doubt her. She believed if she denied everything, without real proof, no one could touch her. Even her mother thought she was handling it wisely, but Yongming had already started investigating Ji Ying's time in Canada. Since Junyu had been in prison back then, he believed the truth would surface with a little digging. While waiting, Ji Ying felt trapped and helpless. No matter how hard she tried, she could not escape the tension. Yongming stopped coming home often, leaving Ji Ying sleepless at night. Soon news came from a friend in Canada. It turned out Junyu had pursued Ji Ying intensely there. They had been in a relationship, but in the end she was the one who sent him to prison. Yongming could not wait another minute. He dragged Ji Ying out of bed during her nap, demanding she explain the photo. Ji Ying was so shocked her eyes went wide. She had no idea where her husband got the evidence, and assumed Junyu had given it to him, so she started another dramatic performance. Facing Yongming's cold questions, she admitted she sent Junyu to jail, but claimed it was for theft, not love. She even cursed Junyu, calling him a pest, saying he was the one who clung to her every day, and that she had no choice but to act as she did. It was a perfect twist of truth and lies, even making Yongming doubt himself. He no longer knew who to believe. Now the only one who could save Ji Ying was Junyu. She thought if he denied their relationship, there might still be a chance, but Junyu was in a meeting. He had no interest in dealing with Ji Ying's madness. Meanwhile, Yongming waited in the parking garage, hoping Ji Ying would not show up, because if she did it would prove she was hiding something. Desperate to see Junyu and ask for answers, Ji Ying never noticed her husband's car following her. Just as Yongming suspected, Ji Ying was indeed going to see Junyu. At that time Junyu was still in a meeting, but Ji Ying barged in anyway, hitting him with her purse in a fit of rage. Junyu had no idea what she was doing. He told her to get out. "You are not welcome here." Ji Ying confessed that they once loved each other, admitted she hurt him in Canada, and destroyed his future with her own hands, but she still refused to admit she was wrong. She claimed any woman would have made the same choice. Who would give up a wealthy man for a poor student? She insisted she only did what any woman would do, but why did she have to suffer for it now? At this point Ji Ying was breaking down. Junyu was completely confused. He had no idea what she was trying to do. She just wanted Junyu to say it had all been one-sided, so that Yongming might forgive her. But Junyu refused to play along. He wanted a clean break forever, but as he followed her out he ran into Yongming, who had been standing there the entire time. He had seen through all of his wife's lies and schemes, and realized their marriage was nothing but a joke. Ji Ying chased after him like a lost puppy, begging Yongming to forgive her. But Yongming, who believed in pure love, had given her too many chances. Her lies again and again had left him in despair. Junyu felt a bit of pity and tried to comfort her, but Ji Ying was out of control. She screamed that she should never have met Junyu, and that everything wrong today was his fault. It was the Vietnamese woman's first gynecological exam. The doctor's serious expression made her uneasy. Pearl, who had never been to such a big hospital, felt nervous and out of place.
축하해요. 임신이에요. 에?
As she stepped outside she saw a pregnant woman passing by. Her husband was overjoyed beside her. Pearl immediately thought of her own husband Junyu. She hurried to call him, wanting to share the good news. But Junyu was in a meeting and couldn't answer. Only her aunt was truly happy for her, even though they hadn't officially reunited. Having a baby would bring her respect no matter the country. Since Pearl was always by her aunt's side, she believed she would have a healthy child. Meanwhile her in-laws were busy searching for their missing daughter Sammy. They left early and came home late every day, and had no time to care for Pearl. So she shared the good news with her mother in Vietnam. Her mother reminded her that pregnancy was hard, and morning sickness might make her lose her appetite. She must take care of her health. Pearl reassured her mother not to worry, saying everyone treated her well, but the loneliness was hers alone to bear. That night she forgot to turn off the stove and burned the porridge. Her mother-in-law scolded her harshly. Already stressed about her own daughter, she now had to teach her daughter-in-law to cook, wondering what Pearl did all day. Then she heard Pearl gagging, and suddenly realized Pearl might be pregnant. She stopped her from leaving and asked nervously. It turned out Pearl had hidden it to avoid worrying the family. Even Junyu didn't know. She had gone to the clinic all by herself. That was the loneliness of marrying far from home. Her mother-in-law hugged her gently, whispering apologies. When Junyu came home that night, his aunt and uncle told him to lift Pearl up in celebration. Pearl blushed and tried to run away, but her father-in-law caught her playfully, and told his son to pick up his wife immediately.
축하한다 임마. 너 아빠 된대.
Junyu regretted focusing only on work and neglecting Pearl. He took out a gift he'd bought for her, a set of Russian nesting dolls, symbolizing a loving mother who protects her children. He believed Pearl would become such a mother, and thanked her for making him a father. Soon they went for their first prenatal checkup. The doctor kindly explained the baby's organs to Junyu, wanting him to understand his wife's struggles. When the heartbeat echoed through the room, it brought warmth to the cold winter air. They ate noodles together and bought parenting books. Junyu even went far away to buy mangoes. The sour taste made Pearl smile in delight, while Junyu hid under the blanket, unable to stand the strong smell. The next day his father bought an electric blanket, so Pearl could stay warm and healthy, and protect the baby from the Korean winter cold. Junyu drove Pearl to the academy. Unexpectedly Ji Young appeared there. Facing rejection from her husband Young Ming, she decided to learn pastry making, hoping it would be her last chance to turn her life around. But the aunt told her to leave immediately, saying they didn't welcome deceitful people. Yet Ji Young refused to give up. She wanted to prove to everyone she wasn't wrong. After all, no one wanted a man with love but no fortune. Soon heavy rain poured outside. Kind-hearted Pearl told her to come inside. It was dangerous to stay in the rain, but Ji Young stood still, almost daring the storm to rage harder. Pearl ran back inside to tell her aunt, who was speechless at Ji Young's stubbornness. Since Ji Young and Young Ming weren't divorced yet, if something happened to Ji Young here, the academy would bear responsibility. The aunt wanted to know why Ji Young was so obsessed, when she used to look down on pastry makers. This was Ji Young's ticket back into the rich family. If she became heir to a traditional dessert craft, Young Ming might see her in a new light, and the past could be forgotten. But Ji Young had no idea. Pearl was the aunt's real niece. Letting Ji Young stay was just a test for Pearl, though the aunt had long planned to pass her skills to Pearl. That day after Pearl finished her lesson, her aunt asked her to come into the room seriously. Pearl thought it was to announce her as the successor, but instead her aunt said another student would join, and that she'd choose the heir between the two. Pearl knew immediately it was Ji Young. She was furious. Ji Young never even liked pastries. She must have pulled strings to get in, and that was something Pearl could never stand. If it becomes unfair, she'd rather give it up. After 20 years, a father and daughter met again, but the wealthy father didn't have the courage to reveal his identity. Pearl politely greeted the chairman. Her sudden greeting left him awkward and uneasy. He could only respond with a gentle smile. He had only recently learned that his daughter was pregnant. Seeing the couple so in love reassured him about Junyu, yet the child she carried filled him with mixed emotions. In the blink of an eye he was about to become a grandfather, while his two sons still struggled with their own marriages. The family had met him today to discuss the youngest daughter's wedding. Everyone else had already set aside their grudges for love. Only the chairman remained opposed. They assumed it was because of his wife's first love, thinking it would make things awkward later on, but in truth it was because of Pearl. When he saw Junyu gently wrapping a scarf around her, the sight reminded him of how he once loved Pearl's mother. Bitterness welled up inside him. Tears filled his eyes. Memories of Pearl's desperate pleas flashed through his mind. He had never shown her an ounce of affection, even denied being her father when confronted with the truth. Now the guilt weighed heavily on his heart. Yet for the sake of his current family he couldn't reveal it. Meanwhile Pearl took out the old photo of her parents again. From the first meeting she had felt a strange familiarity with him. Deep down she suspected he might be her father, but the things that followed made her unsure. Junyu believed that one day she would find the truth. For now she needed to focus on protecting their baby. While packing her belongings, Junyu noticed a keepsake engraved with an English name, a name he remembered seeing on one of the chairman's contracts. He had been standing behind him that day. Instead of confronting him he decided to investigate quietly. A source once told him Pearl's father was the heir to a vast fortune, and had sent money to support Pearl and her mother. So the next day Junyu began his investigation at work. He soon found the chairman's original signed documents, and confirmed that the handwriting matched perfectly. After multiple checks, it was identical to the engraving. But when he looked deeper into the chairman's biography, he discovered that during Pearl's birth years the man lived in the US. Things were becoming more and more puzzling. The only person who might have known the truth was the late driver Mr. Kim. Junyu arranged to meet the driver's son, hoping to find some clues. But among the driver's belongings there was nothing about the chairman. Only records from a company that went bankrupt years ago. Mr. Kim had once worked there. Using his own business connections, Junyu found the HR director who had worked there at the time. When the director heard he was asking about the chairman, he was startled. Though it was hard to find records from over a decade ago, information about public figures was usually archived. At Junyu's request, the director soon located the file. Though he couldn't confirm the English name was the chairman's, they did find the Korean address of a man named Richard Kim. Junyu followed the trail to a former villa owned by the chairman, but everything there had changed. The new owner knew nothing of the past. He had only recently moved in. The entire area had once belonged to the chairman. Finding clues now was like searching for a needle in a haystack. Though he lacked solid proof that the chairman was Pearl's father, Junyu's heart was certain. He asked his wife, "If you never find your father, will you keep searching?" Pearl said yes without hesitation. Seeing her determination, Junyu decided to confront the chairman himself. He handed over the keepsake engraved with the English name. The chairman turned pale with shock. Even then he refused to admit the truth, and ordered Junyu to leave immediately, saying he and Pearl were unrelated. Junyu calmly shared everything he had uncovered, including Pearl's hopes in tears. If the chairman still denied it, he would file a paternity suit. Then everyone would know the truth. The chairman hurried after him and stopped him at the door, asking him to hear his side of the story. If he understood, he might see the reason behind it all, and realize it had all been done out of painful love. A woman who married far from home became the treasure of her in-laws once she got pregnant. Her aunt gave Pearl a full set of scarves and gloves. Her father-in-law gave her an expensive pair of snow boots. They even installed a heated water mattress in the room. The Vietnamese girl was deeply moved by all this. Even Junyu started having sympathy morning sickness. When two people truly love each other and one suffers, the other feels it too. Sometimes even sharing the queasy feelings. Right now only a little alcohol numbs Junyu's taste buds. The only regret for Pearl is that her father has not been found. Her mother's wish has always been a thorn in Pearl's heart. She wants to ask her dad face to face why he left them. She does not know Junyu already knows who he is. But the chairman chose to hide it for the sake of his name and family. Ever since learning Pearl is his daughter, the chairman has been losing sleep, afraid others will find out. Fortunately Junyu truly loves Pearl. He asked the chairman to meet Pearl just once, if only for the Vietnamese woman who waited 20 years. The chairman is afraid of losing everything he has now. He will not even allow a meeting, worried that a photo could cause a scandal. He wants the matter to end here. As long as identities stay hidden he will fully support Junyu's family, so they can live the rest of their lives without worry. He will even pay for Pearl's mother's eye treatment. The only condition is no meeting and no acknowledgement. Junyu could not accept that kind of cash for silence. He prepared to file a paternity suit. Even if the court recognizes it I will not recognize it. And the chairman will keep opposing Youngsu and Simai's marriage. If the story gets out it will all be blamed on Pearl. And those two will not be able to be together. The one who suffers will be Pearl alone. Junyu never expected the chairman to be so small-minded. Having such a father is not worth acknowledging. When he got home he gently held his wife's hand. Even if father and daughter cannot meet, Junyu decided to take Pearl to see the snow, as a small step towards sharing the truth later. But as soon as they arrived Pearl fell asleep. Junyu knew it was because of the pregnancy. So he got out alone and made 3 snowmen, each one lifelike representing their family. He even balanced a snowman on his head, making Pearl laugh out loud. It felt like the whole slope was filled with her joyful laughter. Because of the pregnancy she could not do intense activities, so they rode the lift and tossed soft snowballs. Even that made Pearl incredibly happy. At dinner Pearl noticed a father and daughter at the next table. The father was carefully wiping his daughter's mouth. The scene filled Pearl with longing. For someone who never felt a father's love it was a deep ache. She once hoped that if her dad came home she would be happy like other kids. She waited 20 years. She did not know when it would come true, but she believed she would see him someday. Thinking of the chairman's words, Junyu finally chose to tell Pearl the truth. He did not reveal who the chairman was, but asked his wife to give up searching for her father. The man has a family and will not meet, and he will not go to Vietnam to see Pearl's mother. Pearl could not accept it. 20 years of waiting turned out to be nothing. She refused to give up. Even if it costs her everything she will find that man. Late at night Pearl woke and quietly cried. Her ears felt stuffed with cotton, and every sound was blurry. Only the feeling of her heart sinking was painfully clear. Back home she hid in the bedroom and wiped away tears, and her aunt happened to see it. One look at the photos made everything clear. She told her sister-in-law right away. By then Pearl had arrived at the hospital. Her aunt took one bite of Pearl's pastry, and knew Pearl was not in a good mood today. She did not expect it was all because of her nephew. Pearl had found her father but did not meet him. He only called Junyu to say there would be no meeting. Her aunt told Pearl to focus and stop overthinking. Then she went straight to the chairman. Faced with her questions the chairman told the truth. Junyu already knows who he is, but the chairman still will not acknowledge Pearl. Her aunt could not understand her nephew's thinking. You helped bring a child into the world, and now you call it a misunderstanding. He said he would never use today's success to pay for what happened 20 years ago. By chance, the woman sees her ex pick up his wife from work every day, watching their smiling silhouettes side by side. This was supposed to be the treatment she deserved. Jealousy, like sparks in the wind, starts burning painfully in Ji-young's heart. If they hadn't broken up back then, maybe that woman would be her. But now Ji-young suffers her husband's disdain every day. She can only numb herself with alcohol. About to head to the company, she runs right into Junwoo. It's the weekend, he shouldn't be here. Right after, her father-in-law rushes in as well. She wonders if these two men share some secret. Thinking of their quarrel that day, Ji-young stealthily eavesdrops at the door. After Junwoo leaves, she leans in again. Just thinking of Jinju makes the chairman's heart ache. Now his younger son and Junwoo's sister are in love. If the two families become in-laws, the past will come to light sooner or later. The chairman hurriedly finds the prayer beads Jinju's mother gave him. The past slowly drifts through his mind. Those promises resurface and won't fade. He never knew that the moment Jinju's mom took the child, it meant the two of them would be separated forever. The scene of his regret and anguish is seen by Ji-young, but she still has no clue why those two argued. The only certainty is that it's related to Jinju. The next day, while the chairman is at the morning meeting, she clears everyone out and slips into his office. She opens the drawer he used last night. Inside are a few books and a strange rosary cross, with Vietnamese carved on it. Ji-young quickly snaps photos with her phone. Just then, the chairman walks in with his eldest son. She pretends she's delivering a report, and manages to fool the chairman. Only Youngmin sees through it. He's sure his wife is scheming to stay in this family, but with her denying everything, he has no proof. At the Arts Academy that day, Ji-young tentatively shows the Vietnamese inscription, hoping Jinju can translate it.
당신의 사랑 안 했어요. 안 했으면 아마도 세례명일 거예요.
그걸 어떻게 알죠?
우리 엄마 세례명도 안 했었거든요.
Only then does Ji Young realize Jinju is the chairman's child, but Jinju knows nothing about her father. She has decided to give up the search, and asks Ji Young never to bring it up again. To find more evidence, Ji Young starts rummaging at home. If she can prove the chairman once went to Vietnam, everything will line up. Just then Young Min walks in. Seeing her flustered, he knows she's up to no good. Sure enough, he soon finds the passports behind her. He presses to know what game she's playing. Under her husband's questioning, Ji Young reveals Jinju's identity. Even if he refuses to believe it now, the truth will surface sooner or later, because Sammy and Young-soo are already preparing to marry. The next day he meets his father alone, to confirm the matter of an illegitimate child. The chairman is stunned by the news. From his expression, Young-min basically has his answer. He doesn't care to judge his father's affair, but he knows how his mother suffered during those 3 missing years. He can't imagine how furious she'll be if she learns the truth. His only demand, stop this from happening. Never let mother find out. He also warns his wife, if she spreads gossip, she'll learn what cruel means. Soon it's Young-soo and Sammy's engagement day. Jinju waits at the door for her husband, but the first to arrive is the chairman. Father and daughter meet again after 20 years. He fusses like an old dad, telling her to keep warm. For some reason, Jinju always feels deeply at peace around him. Her clear eyes make him want to hug his daughter. Just as he's about to move closer, Junwoo returns and interrupts. The chairman guiltily hurries inside. The engagement banquet is calm, until Jinju leaves for the restroom. People start discussing whether the Vietnamese girl found her father. Young-min's mother is first to defend Jinju. What kind of man abandons her twice? Since he knows, he should step up and acknowledge her, and make things right. Meanwhile, to become the academy's heir, Ji Young goes swaggering to Junwoo. With Jinju pregnant and studying at the academy, she wants him to persuade Jinju to drop out of the race. Otherwise she'll expose Jinju's birth secret, hurting both mother and child. She also demands to sell Junwoo's company's goods. This woman's appetite is huge. Of course Junwoo refuses such absurd demands, and he warns her, if anything happens to Jinju, he'll make her pay with his life if necessary. His words push Ji Young over the edge. Outwardly she stays calm, but inside she decides to reshuffle her lousy hand. Back at the academy, she prepares to tell Jinju the truth. The woman clearly had extraordinary talent for baking, but out of fear of losing the contest she wanted to switch the judge. She even revealed the secret about Pearl's background, hoping to provoke her aunt and Pearl, but she never expected Pearl to overhear everything outside the door. This newly pregnant woman would never allow her father to run away again. She and her mother had been waiting for 20 long years. Ji Young realized things might be completely ruined this time. She quickly called Junwoo asking him to come right away. Unexpectedly Junwoo was already nearby. He was ready to slap Ji Young in anger, but he thought if he did that she would refuse to say where Pearl was, so he forced himself to hold back his temper. By now Pearl had arrived at the chairman's company. The chairman pretended not to know her like a stranger. Pearl cried and said she already knew everything. Calling out father again and again could not awaken his conscience. His reputation and current family mattered more than Pearl. At last the chairman admitted he was Pearl's biological father, but he would never let her be accepted into the family, and he refused to see the woman in Vietnam who had waited 20 years. From now on they would be strangers if they met again. Pearl married far away to Korea just to fulfill her mother's wish. Her mother's eye illness could no longer be delayed. If the chairman refused to come he might regret it forever. Luckily Junwoo arrived in time, but to change a heart as cold as stone was nearly impossible. Pearl could not accept such a cruel reality. Her chest tightened in pain as if she could not breathe. She only begged the chairman to meet her mother once. The chairman himself was also in great agony, but to keep his current family together he felt he had no choice. Junwoo gently placed a coat around Pearl's shoulders. He too had tried many times to persuade the chairman, but the man never intended to acknowledge his daughter. Junwoo hoped Pearl might choose to let go. He promised to treat his wife with even more care, to make up for the missing fatherly love. But now that Pearl knew the truth she refused to give up. The next morning she went again to the chairman's company. She wanted to use her sincerity to convince him to see her mother once, but the chairman was determined to refuse. The receptionist forced Pearl out. Her lonely figure was spotted by Yong Myung, though they were siblings who should support each other. Yong Myung wished the sister would never appear again. He told Junwoo to control his wife properly, and not let her run to other people's companies all the time. Without hesitation Junwoo rushed to the company, and saw Pearl sitting outside on a bench. It was obvious the kind-hearted girl had waited all day. She only wanted her father to look at her mother's photo. How could those happy memories simply be forgotten? She still held hope that he might change his mind, but all she got was endless disappointment. Junwoo could not believe a man could be so heartless. The way Pearl was treated today nearly drove him crazy. To him she was the treasure in his hands, yet her own father looked down on her. The next day was Pearl's second round in the contest. Best of 3. If she won this round, she could officially become her aunt's successor. Ji Young showed no remorse for her wrongdoings. Winning meant she could stay in the wealthy family, and remain closely tied to the chairman's company, so even her husband would not be able to drive her away. The aunt sincerely hoped they would create great desserts. She would not be biased just because Pearl was her niece. Both finished their pastries at the exact same time, but because of stress and exhaustion, Pearl's breathing grew heavier and uneasy. This time she added a touch of Vietnamese flavor. Every village had its own taste, not to mention two completely different countries. Clearly the aunt did not care for Vietnamese dishes. She could not even tell what Pearl had made.
대체 정신을 어디다 팔고 와서 만들었길래 이런 실수.
Soon Pearl was rushed to the hospital. There was a risk the baby might not survive. Although Ji Young had won the contest, she felt no happiness inside. She slowly lifted her clothes, and saw the faint marks Pearl had left behind. The thought of the fragile life fading cast a dark shadow over her. This was not the kind of victory she wanted. The doctor said the mother had lost quite a bit of blood. If the baby made it through the night things could recover, but she must avoid further stress at all costs. Such news was hard for Jun Woo and his mother to accept. The aunt who learned the truth went to the chairman. She begged him to search his conscience. Because of his rejection, Pearl was now in the hospital. She might even face losing the child. All day long the chairman could not stop thinking of Pearl. It is true the bond between generations exists everywhere. He still could not let go and finally came to the hospital. Looking at Pearl lying unconscious on the bed, memories of her childhood flooded his mind. Her sweet smile seemed as fresh as yesterday. He remembered her stumbling into his arms, and felt that every hardness in life had in those moments turned into gentleness. When the Chaebol chairman came to the art academy for his sister's gathering, he unexpectedly saw after 20 years, the Vietnamese wife he abandoned after she gave birth to their child. The moment their eyes met both were too shocked to speak. 20 years felt like just a single instant, yet also stretched as long as a century. The once naive young couple had both grown into middle age, but Pearl's mom recognized the chairman immediately. Then under the aunt's arrangement they sat down together. Pearl's mom would soon lose her eyesight. The aunt did not want her nephew to be seen as a heartless man, so she arranged this dinner. Pearl's mom said just seeing the chairman alive and well was enough. She did not plan on meeting again. After 20 years gone he surely had another family. She did not want to cause trouble for her first love now. But just then the chairman's wife walked in. The chairman was so startled he nearly jumped up. He tried to leave right away with his wife. Yu Kyung urgently wanted to know why at Jun Woo's family gathering, her husband the chairman was dining there too. Plus Pearl's search for her father had been on the news. She wondered if her husband might be Pearl's biological father. Pearl's mom could not understand their words, but she realized the legal wife had arrived. So she asked her daughter to translate that the chairman was not Pearl's father, and to thank the aunt for her kindness. Then she quickly ran out. The chairman was filled with guilt, but for his reputation and current family, he could only pretend to be innocent. Yu Kyung did not believe such an excuse. She silently swore to uncover the truth. Back home she immediately called her son. She wanted to know if her husband had gone to Vietnam 20 years ago. She did not realize this was exactly what Yong Myung wanted hidden. He did not want his mother to know his father had been unfaithful. The chairman was also confused and anxious. He could not understand how Yu Kyung appeared at that moment. Yong Myung hoped his father would never admit the truth. If his mother found no proof she might give up. As for why she showed up at the academy, he knew it must have been Ji Young's doing. When he met his wife he lured her into the room. Then in his rage he grabbed Ji Young tightly by the neck. He wished this cruel woman would just vanish. Ji Young had already lost her place at the academy after failing the contest. Only by stirring up trouble could she remain in this family. Yong Myung despised her selfishness. If his mother found out she might not bear it and choose divorce, then the whole family would fall into chaos. Yong Myung had decided to divorce Ji Young. By then Pearl's mom had already started buying a ticket back to Vietnam. She knew that as long as she stayed in Korea, the arguments in the chairman's house would never stop. Her eye disease was confirmed to be untreatable. She was grateful to have seen that person before losing sight. Pearl's mom felt content already. Staying longer would only bring trouble to her daughter. Even though Pearl's in-laws did not mind another place at the table, her mother still felt most at ease in her homeland. Before leaving, Jun Woo called the chairman to pass on his mother-in-law's words. The chairman once again took out the prayer beads, hoping to find some answers. Memories of Pearl's pleas resurfaced in his mind, along with the heartfelt expression of Pearl's mom. He kept asking himself if what he did was truly right. Was he really the selfish man others called him? Pain and guilt slowly consumed his last defenses. At last, as Pearl's mom was about to board the plane, the chairman arrived. He called out the name he had not spoken in 20 years, and tearfully begged for her forgiveness. Pearl's mom asked her daughter to translate that it was fine. At least they once had those memories. Meanwhile, Yu Kyung kept replaying the day's events. Just then a call came from Yong Myung. He truly did not want his mother to know the truth. So he lied that the past from 20 years ago could not be traced. He said his father must have been in America, not in Vietnam. Compared to her son's lie, she trusted her intuition more. Her husband's panic clearly meant he was hiding something. So she turned on the program where Pearl once searched for family, and found proof her husband had gone to Vietnam. The English name Pearl mentioned was the one the chairman had used since childhood. She had also heard the lullaby Pearl played. It truly was her husband's voice from his youth. Unbeknownst to her, the chairman had decided to change completely. He gathered all the family together, and admitted abandoning Pearl and her mother 20 years ago. He never imagined Pearl would come from Vietnam to find her family. Yong-soo felt his world collapse. That meant his sister-in-law was actually his biological sister. How could his marriage with Sammy continue? The whole family relationships would become a tangled mess. Now the chairman only wished for his wife's forgiveness. He had lived freely for 20 years, yet he said he had been atoning all along, and he promised to try twice as hard to treat Yu Kyung better. A billionaire chairman had 3 partners, yet there was no place in his heart for his wife. He abandoned a mother and child in Vietnam while pining for an old flame. His wife eventually learned every last detail. For Yu Kyung 3 decades felt like a century. From meeting to knowing to falling in love, the good times felt like yesterday. She spent her whole life keeping this family running. Even when the chairman left home to cool off overseas, Yu Kyung still cared for her ailing father-in-law with everything she had, hoping every day her husband would return. 20 years later he showed up holding an out-of-wedlock son, and the mother Pearl was set to become their future daughter-in-law. Her son's future and her own marriage became a tangled web of ties. Her breathing grew tight, and she slowly lost consciousness. The doctor said the shock triggered acute shortness of breath. If it happens again she could faint or have temporary vision problems. The chairman wanted to stay quietly through the danger, but Youngmin told his father to get out. Even the younger son Youngsu would not engage with him. He could not make sense of his father's choices. A future sister-in-law became a sister. Family by blood before a wedding ever happened. Their father's past left both sons shaken. They could not imagine what their home would look like next. The chairman went to his aunt for counsel. Unsure how to move forward, she urged him to make a sincere apology and repay the emotional debts he owed. Only then might forgiveness come naturally. But when he got home his luggage was tossed outside. He thought his wife was just venting. He begged Yu Kyung not to leave, not to abandon him to grow old alone. He said he would do anything if she could forgive him. She snapped that only if he disappeared from her life could she forgive. A healthy family had been ruined by the chairman. He lacked the courage to face that, and left his wife in the care of their 2 sons for now. Youngmin meanwhile was worn down by Jaeyoung. They had agreed to divorce, but at the office she backed out again. She said she had no idea what she did wrong, and refused to give up the chaebol life she had grabbed. She said she would stay even if it meant swallowing her pride. At this point only her mother-in-law could change things. Jaeyoung went to Yu Kyung's bedside to apologize, hoping for forgiveness, but the woman in the bed did not respond, and she was rushed to the emergency room again. Only then did Jaeyoung grasp how much harm her scheming had caused. A gastric cleanse stabilized Yu Kyung for now. She had taken a large amount of sedatives, and was moved to a regular room. Youngsu came running at once. Her temperature was dropping fast, and her thoughts were going hazy. Side effects from the medication. The chairman tried to check on his wife, but Youngsu shoved him aside, and tried to drag him out. He would not let his mother be hurt again. The heart needs the right balm. Youngmin stopped his brother. The next moments belonged to their parents. The chairman promised not to break her heart again and asked for mercy. Yu Kyung realized what he felt came from pity, but she wanted more than that. She had given her all, and raised 2 kind children. She wanted her husband's whole heart in return. Looking back she saw only scenes where she tried to please him. She could not find moments where he truly showed up for her. She hated that she loved the wrong person, and that he lived by her side for 30 years without loving her. She lay back and chose not to speak further, to avoid staying in this painful place, and to protect her health. Yu Kyung decided to take the kids abroad. The saddest one was Samay. She was about to walk down the aisle to the man she loved, and suddenly it all vanished. Seeing her in tears Youngsu chose to leave anyway. He had no idea how to handle their relationship, but he knew his mother came first. Samay made a quiet vow. She would wait for him no matter how long. Jaeyoung and Youngmin finalized their divorce. She regretted the hurt her selfishness caused, and regretted that her career-first mindset kept her from having a child. Pearl's Bakery finally opened. With her aunt's connections, business was steady every day. Things were trending in a good direction, yet she still felt sorry toward her future sister-in-law. If her father's secret had not come out, 2 people meant to grow old together would not have been torn apart. But the younger woman did not blame Pearl. She said it was just hard luck, and believed that one day, Youngsu would return to marry her. A temporary goodbye for a lasting together. One night Pearl felt unusual cramps, and the baby felt like he was dropping. Junwo rushed her to the hospital. Their son was born with a strong cry, healthy and safe. The father even cut the cord. A reminder to step up as a dad from day one. The baby lay wrapped snug and soft like moonlight, skin glowing with a pearly sheen, like little feathers of an angel resting on earth. In a blink 5 years passed. Their boy star grew into a little prince, and Junwo thrived at a global firm. Marrying the right partner lifted the whole family. Had it been Jaeyoung things might have stayed stuck. Yu Kyung and Youngsu flew back from abroad. Time truly helped heal. One day she turned on the TV and saw a story about Pearl. The chairman had built a school in Vietnam, offering free education to kids in need. He worked there keeping the campus clean, and oversaw every brick laid, trying to make up for the wrongs he had done. Pearl had forgiven her father's past. She only wanted to fulfill her mother's wish, though in doing so her father lost everything. She hoped the chairman's family would forgive him. He had paid a heavy price over the years, but Yu Kyung still needed time to see his sincerity. Once back Youngsu held an art show, making his dream real, yet he could not stop thinking about Samay. He missed her deeply, not knowing that as he ached, she was right behind him quietly taking it all in.
그 전화하는 게 그렇게 힘들었어? 4년이나 걸리게 바보야?